Hello everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, if you may recall, about 2 months ago, I looked at Disney's version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I still stand by that it's a legendary animated movie, and of course, on the topic of Snow White, it is one of many stories that has been adapted over and over throughout the years, even if a few aren't that memorable in my opinion. Now, while I am interested in an upcoming animated version that has yet to be released in the US, I have one question for all of you. Have you ever thought that there would be a Snow White movie, or even a fairy tale movie, which would be focused on the Seven Dwarfs? Well, I never thought about that at first, up until I saw an animated film which came from Germany about 3 years ago. But, what do I think of it? Well, let's get started and we'll find out. Released in Germany on September 25th, 2014, and the United States on July 31st, 2015, the movie is The Seventh Dwarf. Now let's get started. The evil witch Dellamorta cursed Princess Rose when she was a baby. Before she turns 18, Rose will get stung in the finger by a sharp object, and she and the whole castle will fall into a 100-year-long sleep unless her true love would kiss her. The night before her birthday, she sends her beloved boyfriend, Jack, to the Seven Dwarfs, who live behind the Seven Mountains, to hide until after Rose has turned 18. Unfortunately, he gets lost and captured by Dellamorta's dragon, Burner. So, after the party, Rose gets stung in the finger, and everyone falls into a deep sleep. So, the Seven Dwarfs must go on a journey to save Jack so that he can save Rose. So, what do I think of this movie? Well, in my opinion, this was pretty good. Not great, but yeah, pretty good. But to further explain why I like this film, let's move on to Mustang notes. The movie is based upon the fairy tale Sleeping Beauty and characters from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It is also a sequel to the films Seven Dwarfs Men Alone in the Woods from 2004 and Seven Dwarfs The Forest Is Not Enough from 2006, which I've never heard of before, nor have I watched yet. But it is interesting that almost all the performers from the first two films gave their characters their voices. The film brought about 406,000 viewers so far and earned about 2,600,000 euros. Sadly, the director Harold Zimmerman died in February 2013 during the production of the film. For those who don't know, Harold Zimmerman was a German animator and character designer. His feature film credits included Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Tarzan, and Enchanted. As for the animation, well, to me, the folks in Germany did a pretty good job with the animation, even though the opening prologue looks like elementary level drawings, and some of the characters look a tad cartoony and move a bit stiff at times, but still, Fantabularasa looks great. Also, Dellamorta's castle looks very chilly, plus Rose's castle looks great too, and during the birthday celebration, it has signs and guards preventing witches and sharp, pointy objects from going into the castle, And, of course, it has an escape trapdoor in the throne room. Also, there are a few things in the movie that poke fun at modern stuff. For example, in the beginning of the film, the king is watching a puppet show in the style of a Weather Channel, and there's one part of the movie that pokes fun at YouTube. As for the story, well, not only is it a bit rushed at times, but the plot seems a bit familiar. Now, I know that this is supposed to be a fairy tale parody, but the story seems like a mix of not only Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, but also a bit of the Snow Queen. Also, I'm surprised with the amount of fairy tale characters that got to appear at Rose's birthday party. In fact, I haven't seen this many cameos since the Shrek franchise. Also, I feel like the main love interests, Princess Rose and Jack, like Sven and Olaf from Frozen, might give folks some Titanic flashbacks. Now, since this is a fairy tale movie, that also makes it a musical. But what do I think of each song? Well, let's find out. The first song in the movie is the Bakery Song, where the dwarves are making a birthday cake for Princess Rose, and in my opinion, this is a pretty catchy and smooth song, even though Speedy can be a tad slow with his solos, and, of course, the song stops when their seventh member is absent due to the fact that he was trying to get an apple from a tree. Next is the dwarves' marching song, Hey Dwarves, which is sung while they march to Princess Rose's castle and when they journey to Dellamorta's lair, while following a signpost. In my opinion, this song is a little similar to Hi Ho, but it's not too bad. It's just a bit repetitive. Plus, this song is one of the reasons why the story seems a tad rushed in my opinion. Next is the Happy Birthday song, sung by the musicians of Bremen. You know, the story about a dog, a cat, a donkey, and a rooster who want to be musicians. Yep, they're the ones who sing a birthday song for Princess Rose, which in my opinion is a pretty catchy version. Unfortunately, it stops when Dellamorta makes her entrance by going through her mirror. Next is the villain song, Dellamorta's Tango, which is sung after Dellamorta's curse is placed on Rose's castle. In my opinion, Tango is not a bad idea when it comes to villains. I mean, Captain Hook did that in the stage version of Peter Pan. Anyway, in my opinion, this song is pretty twisted, and I think the dwarves were pretty clever to pretend that they were affected by her curse while they were listening to Dellamorta's plan. Next is Take a Chance, which is sung by Bobo, Jack, and the other dwarves while they make friends with Burner, before he was about to commit suicide by tying a huge rock with a rope around his neck. To me, this song is just okay. Not great, just okay. I mean, it's a good song when it comes to making friends, but I still wouldn't consider this as one of my favorites in this movie. Next is the romantic song, Fairy Tales, sung by Jack, Rose, and the rest of the fairy tale characters, while Rose wakes up and Dellamorta's curse is lifted from the castle. To me, this is a pretty sweet song, and I like the part at the end of the song where Rose and Jack get married, and a statue is made to honor Bobo's heroism. However, to me, the worst song in this movie is the Merman Rap, sung by Sherman and Herman. Ugh. The reason why I hate this song is because, one, rap is my least favorite music genre, and two, I think rap should never be in a fairy tale parody like this. Anyway, now that we're done with Mustang notes, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Our title character, Bobo, is voiced by Joshua Graham. Now, Bobo may be the smallest of the dwarves in stature, but he has the biggest heart. While he may be a bit clumsy and he doesn't know how to tie his shoes, Bobo's most important trait is his open, genuine kindness. Like a wonderful, innocent child, he would never laugh at someone else's misfortune. The other dwarves are Chaco, the martial artist dwarf, voiced by Matt Gilbert, Cloudy, the grumpy dwarf, voiced by Al Parrish, Sunny, the happy-go-lucky dwarf, voiced by Jeff May, Cookie, the cooking dwarf, voiced by Joe Marth, Speedy, the philosopher dwarf, voiced by Cameron Elvin, and Ralphie, the not-so-smart but compassionate and generous dwarf, voiced by Peter Karwowski. In my opinion, these guys are very crafty, comical, and memorable. And I like that they always look out for each other, even little Bobo. Next we come to Princess Rose, voiced by Peyton List, who has been in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid franchise. Rose is a redolent princess ready to put her faith in an unlikely hero. After wearing a suit of armor every day for 18 years, Rose has become tough, inside and out. She is not one of those carefree, superficial princesses. But even a suit of armor cannot protect her from the threat of the evil Ice Queen Dellamorta. In my opinion, the part where she guesses the dwarves' names kind of reminds me of a similar scene from Disney's Snow White. And I like that she uses her cards to tell her future and to show Jack to take shelter at the Seven Dwarfs' house. Next up is Rose's love interest, Jack, a kitchen boy, voiced by James Frantowski. Now, Jack wasn't really raised to be a great hero. However, Jack is ready to do whatever it takes to save Rose. He displays great courage in order to save his beloved princess and feels the heavy weight of an entire kingdom's future resting on his shoulders. Next we come to the villain of the story, Dellamorta, an evil ice queen voiced in both English and German by Nina Hagen, who has done German voices in The Nightmare Before Christmas, Thumbelina, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the movie, and Spirited Away. Dellamorta has her sights set on freezing the kingdom of Fantabularasa, using a ring with a thorn in it to prick Princess Rose. In my opinion, Dellamorta is jealous, greedy, and obsessed with power. She is so terrifying that even the elements cower before her. However, Dellamorta was not always so nasty. You see, she became a spiteful witch after being spurned by her one true love. Perhaps, if she had been spared disappointment back then, she would not be so evil these days. Also, in my opinion, Dellamorta is very clever when she uses a spell to change the time on the clock, using a mirror to sneak into the castle, and kidnapping Jack to prevent him from breaking her curse. Also, there are a couple times in the movie when Dellamorta uses a hypnotic spell to mesmerize her victims. Next we have Dellamorta's dragon sidekick, Burner, or Bernie for short, voiced by Norm Macdonald, who got to be in Dr. Dolittle and Christmas is Here Again. Bernie is a fierce dragon who needs a friend and does not enjoy being Dellamorta's underling very much. He's been teased in the past about his secret passion for tap dancing. In my opinion, he could be the second animated dragon that I know about with Bernie as his nickname. The first one being Everburn from The Curse of Princess Ivy. And I like the part where he teaches Bobo to tie his shoes. Another character to talk about is Rose's BFF, Snow White, voiced by Lindsay Goodtimes. To me, while she doesn't have a big role in this movie, she seems like a popular character. Plus, I think it's neat that she has a limo-style carriage, and I liked the part where she gives the dwarves a VIP escort, and when she and Rose do a BFF scream. And now, let's move on to my final words. Overall, The Seventh Dwarf was pretty unique for a German animated movie. The animation may sometimes be a bit weird, but it is pretty good to me. The songs in the soundtrack are pretty good too, minus one, and the story is a bit familiar and rushed. Bobo, despite being a klutz, made a surprising hero, and the other dwarves are crafty, humorous, and cool. The main lovers, Jack and Rose, are sweet, though we barely see them together. Burner may be intimidating, but he is a loyal dragon, and the villain, Dellamorta, is very cold and threatening. Also, several parts of the movie can be pretty funny when they poke fun at modern stuff. I'm not sure if you folks would be interested in seeing this movie, but if you have kids, I'm sure they'll enjoy it much more than you. I give this movie a 71% out of 100. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Be sure to join me for my next blog, where we look into Richard Rich's directorial debut, Mustang Power. Oh, and to all my German watchers out there, auf Wiedersehen!